Can you share the story? Yeah, and I got to be honest, it kind of disappointed me because of the way Van Damme acted. But can you share the story of what happened with you and Van Damme shooting that scene essentially in the house, that fight
But
scene?
when I got clocked,
Yeah, basically, when you got clocked. Hey guys, in today's video it's about Time Cop, an interesting story that happened on the set. This is told from Steven Lambert's book, From the Streets of Brooklyn to the Halls of Hollywood. Look how thick this thing is. This thing will keep you entertained for months. Make sure to buy it. I'll link it in the description below. You can buy it from Amazon.com. But let me just preface this by saying this is not the most flattering story about Jean-Claude Van Damme, but since I'm a huge Van Damme fan and he did write a couple chapters on working with Van Damme, of course I got to share those stories. Of course I got to ask Steven Lambert about those stories and share them with you. Oh, by the way, make sure to stay until the end of the video because I'll be sharing some interesting trivia about Steven Lambert, James Liu, and Al Leong, who have all worked with Van Damme. So a little fun trivia tidbit at the end. Make sure to like this video, by the way, to help support the channel. Make sure to subscribe if you're a fan of this kind of content. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Stallone, basically stuff related to, the background here. And, of course, if you're a fan of that, like I mentioned, you're going to be a fan of this book. So without further ado, let's continue that interview. Going back to Van Damme real quick, because you were in Time Cop, you actually had a pretty good role there, pretty featured, fought him at the end. I seen you and your villain buddy, in the mall looking at Van Damme and his wife's character, but can you
I
tell us
loved
a
my
little...
partner. I
Huh?
loved my partner. I loved my partner. He was great.
Yeah, you guys look really good as villains together. Good pair there,
Yeah.
beating up Van Damme. But can you share the story? Yeah, and I got to be honest, it kind of disappointed me because of the way Van Damme acted. But can you share the story of what happened with you and Van Damme shooting that scene essentially in the house, that fight
But
scene?
when I got clocked,
Yeah, basically, when you got clocked.
well, a wonderful friend of mine, stunt coordinator, gifted guy, Glenn Randall Jr., was a stunt coordinator. And he knew of my ability. We were very close friends. And he hired me to do this role, which I was very excited about. And uh, come today, Jean-Claude had a very bad habit of not showing up on rehearsals. He was on his own time. He would make a plan. We would make a plan. In this instant, when to rehearse it, because, I had a lot to do with him at the, in this is the interior. This happened in the interior, up, below the roof. And he was invited to the first rehearsal. And come time the rehearsal, on the day, on the hour, he didn't show up. And Jean-Claude's stunt double was there. So I would rehearse it and put it together with Glenn Randall. And that Glenn Randall was a great stunt coordinator. He was a great second unit director, but he didn't know a lot about fights. So that's one of the reasons why I worked for him when I was a kid, an awful lot when it came to fights. He always hired me for a little part or doubling an actor, so he had myself to put together the fight with him and Jean-Claude's stunt double. So make a long story short, we put it together. Second rehearsal came a few days later. Jean-Claude was invited because it wasn't finished, took some time, takes a few days. And he didn't show up again. We put the rest of it together. And at the end, we liked it. We showed it to director. Director was a wonderful director, great guy. And he loved it, right? We had a third exercise in putting it together. And again, he didn't show up. 3 rehearsals before we shot it. So we gave him 3 chances. And so this is the way we're going to do it. The director likes it. Director has the final say, supposedly, come day to shoot it. We go to rehearse it. Jean-Claude's there. Jean-Claude sees it. The stunt double is showing him in his place. I'm rehearsing it with the stunt double. Jean-Claude wants to change everything. The director is standing there. The stunt coordinator, Glenn Randall, standing there. Director says, well, no, we've got no time, to change everything. I love it. I like what you guys do and what you put together. So this is the way I want it. Well, Jean-Claude got upset, walked off. And it was between him and the director. The director and him had a conversation. The director said, I'm listening to the professional of this show when it comes to the action, and that's Glenn Randall. And you're going to do it, or we're going to cut it out. And when I heard that, when Glenn Randall came over to me and said this was what the director told Jean-Claude, I nearly, had a heart attack because I don't want anything like that cut out. I want to do something with Jean-Claude. It's a great opportunity to do a feature moment. So we get on set. Jean-Claude finally decides to do it. We get on set and we rehearse it once. He's shown a part of it, a piece of it. And we go to shoot it. They call action. And I have a gun, and he disarms me at one point. And he takes the gun. He has the side of the gun in his hand, and he just clocks me right above my eye and just splits my eye open. And I fall back, and he hits me like a sledgehammer, brings me back about 4 or 5 feet. And I'm holding my eye, and there's blood gushing out throughout my hand, throughout my fingers. And they yell, cut. And all of a sudden there's screams, and I'm in a square horse leaning down, holding my eye, and I look up, and there's blood dripping down, and they want to take me to the hospital, and they're trying to decide, and there are tons of things going through my head. Mainly, I'm looking at Jean-Claude, and I'm on fire. I'm mad because only the people who are being worked, who are working together, know what's real and what's fake. They can only understand. And I feel that was real. It was done on purpose. And when I looked at him, in other words, he was taking his frustrations out on me.
Sure.
And I'm not the boss. Glenn Randall's the boss. I'm an innocent bystander, just an actor, and you hit me on purpose just to take it out on the other guys. So as I was upset, I looked at him. He was white as a sheet. And I rose up and I walked over to him. I said, you got something to say? And he backed up and he didn't say anything. He just turned around and walked away. He didn't apologize, right? And they were trying to rush me to the hospital. And I just said, listen, let's just go on with it. And they looked at me and I said, got a split eye. We got real blood. Let's just finish the sequence. And then I'll go to the hospital and I'll get it sewn up, and that's what we did. We finished the scene and he came up, we finished the scene, did whatever I said, did whatever Glenn Randall said, because he thought he was going to, he was a little nervous. But at the end, which I write in the book, and it was, I wish you were there. I wish we had it on camera. At the end, the last shot of that scene, when the director yelled cut and print, and the last shot was actually when I was on the roof and I fell off. I do a high fall. I'm dead, right? That's the last shot of the film. But reverse it, that wasn't the last shot. I did the shot before, but I'm on the roof in the pouring rain and blood's dripping down, and that's real blood. Mind you, a lot of it is real blood you see in the water and stuff. Got a nice gash, 3 to 4 inch stitches in my eyebrow. And the last shot of that sequence, when the director yelled cut and print, all of a sudden on the megaphone, I hear, Steve, if you want to kick Jean-Claude's ass, you're more than welcome to now because we're finished. And everybody laughed. And Jean-Claude's looking at me, white as a sheet, wondering what I'm going to do. And I just turn and I walk off the set.
That's a great story.
I had to be there. You had to be there. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, I'm sure we'll never see that on the bonus features on Time Cop. But so you worked with I guess what was it, 2 years later, which we already talked about on the Quest. Was there any awkwardness? Make sure to tune in to the next episode where I talk with Steven Lambert about the Quest. He was the fight coordinator, has a lot of fun stories to share, and I even picked his brain on asking him if the Quest was a real competition, who he thinks would actually win, and where Van Damme would place if that were a real competition. So you won't want to miss it. Make sure to subscribe, like the video. And now for that fun trivia that I mentioned at the beginning of the video with Steven Lambert, James Liu, and Al Young. So James Liu had the classic fight scene against Van Damme and Time Cop in the kitchen, is actually one of Steven Lambert's good friends. In fact, when Steven Lambert started Kung Fu in the 70s, James Liu, along with Al Young, who would fight Van Damme in Death Warrant, all trained together at the same Kung Fu studio. Coincidentally, all men would eventually work in the film industry as stuntmen and villains, and all men would eventually end up fighting Van Damme. Let me know in the comment section, by the way, guys, if the next Van Damme movie breakdown you want to see is Time Cop. I'm currently working on Death Warrant, but I'll tally the votes up. Time Cop or Death Warrant, that'll be the next Van Damme movie breakdown I'll do. Let me know what you guys would like to see.